Welcome, everyone. You are tuning into Engaging Walk. My name is Drake.
And my name is Rubie.
We believe in the power of walking together and talking together.
It's a simple act to stay connected, and movement is key.
This week, we will be discussing love maps.
And how you and your significant other can take that time to make deep connections.
All right, so this week we took an engaging walk over in Fiesta Island. Fiesta Island is Spanish for party island, and I will tell you what, Fiesta Island is, as the kids say, lit. The people over there were definitely partying. We were not. We were having some fun.
I mean, there's family parties, like families hang out, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but there was definitely some people having a lot of fun.
For sure.
But anyways, we were just there hanging out with our dog. We were doing some engaging walks, enjoying each other's company, and we just discussed. We reflected on a lot of other things that we've done in our lives, and that brings us to this idea of love maps. So,
well, we talk about it a little bit on the episode 3.
Yep.
Talk about
Episode
Credo.
3 was Credo. Yeah, the Credo special. And do you want to share a little bit more about what a love map is and what it does for people in their relationship?
Sure. So we know that concept or that that term love maps from Credo, and Credo is like one of the things that the Navy offer for the spouse and the family. So for a love map, it's like you literally write your love story on a piece of paper, and it's like a poster. So it can be a timeline, and it's really up to the spouse and you to create, be creative. So if you look into if you watch us instead of listening to our podcast, you definitely will see our love map at the back and the background. And later on, we will post a picture or a video how we make our love maps. And basically, it's telling how did you. It's really where do you want to define your love maps? It's start and then ending points. For us, we picked at we start dating time stage and then all the way to current. So we didn't stop. And what we use for our love maps instead of a timeline. A lot of people use timeline, but for us was like a circle, because we feel like a circle is never ending, and I feel like our story never ends. So it's still going. So we say and then we think, hold on, our ring have the shapes of a circle. So let's do our wedding ring, which is symbolize for a covenant. And that's where we start. So we start with dating stage until occurring, and then it's on the circle instead of a straight line.
Yeah, a lot of, like Rubie was saying, a lot of people used when we were at Credo did a timeline, like a traditional timeline, but we were thinking outside the circle and put a circle. So yeah, definitely like how Rubie said. One of the nice things about doing a love map is as you're going through it, you see like how much you and your partner have done.
Yeah,
and
it's been
sometimes
through,
it could be all like at once. Like for I don't want to get into specifics, but Rubie and I are going through like a lot of new things right now.
Yes.
So many challenges,
They
many
are exciting.
Administrative things, work things,
all kinds of stuff.
Businesses, all that kind of thing. So like a year from now, we could do another love map and just be like, boom, oh man, like July time frame was crazy.
Yeah.
And then you get to see like, okay, yeah, this time we did this time we did that, like, and you get to reflect and
I think
have a piece of art that you both get to create to hang up in your house.
So it's like a huge poster, like a big projects when you do at school. And the fun thing is that during the activity, we have 15 minutes, and now I get to talk to Drake about, okay, what are the milestones that you want to put it on there, And so it's engaging. I know it's not walking, but it is engaging activity where you get to talk to each other and remind each other that, memory spot, your milestone that you guys get to walk through together in the relationship. And then I don't know, but for me, I feel very, a sweet moment where to look back, wow, this is how far we have gone together. And even like within 2 years spent, and tons of things happen. And it's interesting because I get to hear things that are important to him and then things important to me. Now it's very nice and a valuable moment because you get to hear what is it really dear to their hearts, and I feel like that is engaging because you get to know your partner's perspective.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people's love maps is also like the process of going through it.
Yeah.
Where like going through that love map, you're gonna find that maybe you forgot some things that were like really like big, or like
Yeah.
Ruby was saying, like you have like these moments where you're like, oh yeah, I didn't know that meant so much to that person. You can also go through and look back at some of the challenges that you went through in your relationship, and feel like a sense of like accomplishment of getting through those challenges.
Yeah.
So for like a big one for us was me being gone for like 6 to 8 months on a deployment.
It was challenging.
It was very challenging. And then like what we did was within that block, we put like how we ended up staying, how we maintained our connection during that time. So, just so people that maybe aren't familiar, like with what that's like, I was literally gone for pretty much like 8 months. We took about a month where we got to reconnect in Hawaii.
It was not a month. It's like 2 weeks.
It was like 2 weeks in Hawaii. But there's a good 8 month block or 7.5 months where I was gone, and we're still trying to maintain our connection and maintain our relationship. And the way that we had to do that was old school, like emails, trying to
Mail.
find time to talk on the phone, which is really difficult, and doing online programs together. So we did define the relationship during that period. We did a lot of like mapping out our relationship and seeing like, okay, what are the things that are going to be coming up for us in the future? What are some things that we would like to do together? What are our relationship goals? But yeah, you can look back on those moments within your love map and say like, wow, like we got through that, or and then like reflect on how you got through that.
Yeah, and I find that like even for us, onto like 2 years spent, we have tons of things that we have in common or like also difference. But imagine that you have more than 10 years or 15 years, 20 years down the road, is a lot, but it's still like it's a beautiful journey or a beautiful activity to sit down and just see like, wow, so many things have been through ups and downs, but we still have to get each other. And I feel like it's really it changed me to be grateful what things we have been through, and end of the day we still have each other and each other back. So that is something that I love about love maps.
Yeah, I think another really important thing to think about this love maps idea is that once you go through the process of like communicating with your partner, we'll go, okay, we got 15 minutes. What are we going to put on there? You'll I mean, aside from like the sense of accomplishment and aside from the sense of like going through like the things that have happened and recapping on the milestones and reflection, there's also that aspect of like, it's hanging up in your house. So like once you create like the art project,
Oh yeah, that's true.
and it's hanging up in your house, I find sometimes when I go through a rough day or like I'm just standing around in the house and or maybe Ruby's not home and I'm looking at the love map and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did that. And especially if you have like a bigger one, like you can really recap and be like, oh, that's really interesting. It's really neat that we did all those things together. And yeah, that's like the main idea behind our podcast and our engaging walk in general is maintaining that connection and taking time out of your day to be intentional with the relationship and to take moments to like go and not just take the relationship for granted, and to go on a walk together and to reconnect, talk. One of the aside from like the things that we like to do, every at least once a week or so is like when I come home from work,